Hi, friends. How are you? So today I am going to the Realtor Association of Southeastern Mass conference, and the title of it is Shift Happens. So kind of fun and funky name, huh? The little play on words there. And I thought about some conversations I've had over the past, I don't know, let's just call it year, but it's probably been the last few years. And and basically it has to do with, I gotta get comfortable here. It has to do with shifting, right? Shifting our energies, shifting our um, direction, being like that little trim tab on the sailboat where you make a slight adjustment and there's a big change in your daily activities and in your profession. And so I wanted to just talk about that a little bit because I think that we have different levels of awareness depending on our busyness and honestly um, our appetite for change, right? And so at sometimes we're like, I just can't have anything changing right now, even though most of the time it's not really up to us. But other times being like, all right, I want these subtle changes, these changes of my trim tab to get me to a big change, right? I am not an all or nothing person. I'm an evolved person. And so some of the things that I started doing over the years, and a lot of this has to do with my Rise agent training, is I started tracking things, right? So tracking my daily activities, preparing my daily activities so that I can fit in as much as I can when I'm working so I don't have to feel like I'm working all the time. So those were some of the ideas about starting this. And what I found is that when I go back now and I color coded, and I talked about this, right? I color code depending on what it is for me, so that I can take a quick look and get an idea. But I can also go and get really granular and find out how much time I've spent on a transaction. I have a hair in my eye, in case you're wondering why I keep on um, fluffing myself. So, how much time did I spend on that transaction? How many hours did I actually spend? And then I can go and take that commission and divide it up and see how much I made an hour on that person or that transaction, right? But I wouldn't know that if I was just running there for 15 minutes to get something or just chit chat, the conversations on the phone at 8 o'clock at night or whatever. If I wasn't tracking it, I would not be able to go back and see trends and also evaluate those trends on what's working best for me. And so I find that really helpful. And I want to just tell you, like, I mean, I have the RISE system, which I would love to talk with anyone about, but you could do it just on your phone, right? And get the calendar on your phone. I use Gmail. Some people use the one that it comes with the iPhone or whatever. And as you're doing things, just start writing it down in your phone. So I started doing this. I'm tracking my food, and so I go and I write it down. It takes me a while. I don't get to it, so I started just putting it right into my phone, and and in my case, I was identifying it as one protein, one carbohydrate, one fat, one sugar, one vegetable, one fruit. Right. So those are the what I'm tracking, and it's just a simple tracking thing. But it's just as I do this, I can start to identify different jackpots, and I can identify different trends. Right. So what I did for work, I'm doing for personal things, and what I'm finding is that it's super helpful. And so I don't need a big system, although sometimes a bigger system helps more. But I can go so now on my calendar, so now I have the what I think I'm doing all day and what I'm actually doing all day. And I can evaluate that. So the more that we can become a student of ourselves and research ourselves and evaluate ourselves and adapt, right? If we shift, right? So, yes, I'm coming back to shift happens. I can shift my activities so that they are in alignment with what my goals are. And that could be the same for you. So for example, and again, I'm sorry about the hair, but for an example, if I had uh, an activity that took a lot of my time that I didn't realize. And again, the pandemic was so good for this because we had to stop doing so many things. And I realized that this activity that I was doing no longer served me in that way. And I'll give you an example. I have a person who like writes notes every time that they're doing something, they note it, they note it, they note it. So they write it all down. And then at some time later, they go and they rewrite it so that it's neat and in their little perfect little file, right? So this extra step of taking it and doing another hour a day on rewriting the notes ends up being, 7 hours a week, right? That's almost a whole shift, like day shift, right? So, we talked about it, and I said, what if you just took a little bit more time writing that first set of notes neater, so you didn't feel like you had to go and write them all over again? And what if you just tried to or put those notes right into typed it in to a note on your phone, and then you could copy and paste it and evaluate it that way. So just different time saving activities that, small little things mean a lot. Anyway, I hope anyone who's at Shift Happens, please come say hi to me. I would love to see you guys. Um, I, you know, I love realtors. I'm wired for realtors, and I just think the best. So please come say hi. And in the meantime, if there's any questions, or if you want to just drop in the comments, any questions that you have about these ideas about refining those activities, they say that 20% of your activities yield 80% of your results. Don't we want to do those 20% of activities that are working like gangbusters and not those things that are fillers? I do. All right, my friends, I'll see you tomorrow. Make it an amazing day. And I will probably stream in later from Shift Happens.